Obviously, on stay in your lane.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with you. It's scheduling is all through computers. Interaction with individuals is very minimum, and when you do have those types of situations, it's difficult to get it properly rectified because you don't know who to reach out. Phone numbers are almost non-existent now on when people send emails to you. So, you're relying on them to look at their emails in a timely manner to help address the situation.
Now, when you say you getting trucks in and out most of the time, from the goal is to have them in and out within an hour.
Correct.
You're setting them up from an hours of service perspective to be successful doing what you need them to do and what you're asking them to do, especially with multi-stop freight.
Exactly. So, and one of the challenges we have with scheduling appointments, some are already preset based on, the criteria. Others, we have the partner carrier set it as well. So when we build our loads, we build them ourselves. We try to keep in mind of any type of unloading restrictions so we can minimize any potential layovers. You and I know that any layovers actually gets baked into the price and not exactly, something that's just forgiven. And, the other piece in this very important part, multi-stops is not the most popular freight movement for drivers. So you want to make sure that it's as enticing as possible so they are willing to stay on the load or want to move the load. And so we try to build stuff. If we have the opportunity to get all the freight offloaded in one day, we're going to take advantage of it because he or she then has the opportunity to get on another load and continue to make money, because they're in business to have a paycheck as well.
Right. They have to generate revenue.
Exactly.
In our industry, we see people, either put very low line haul and then high accessorials.
Right.
When they know that they're going to have a lot of accessorials and they're banking on that to be a profit center.
Yes, exactly.
So either way, you're going to pay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you may not pay it in a layover fee, but it's in the line haul or it's in the stop pay. Somewhere the drivers have to be compensated for the job.
Exactly. So, we try to keep that in mind. We're being at Franklin Foods very freight cost conscientious as well. So, again, trying to minimize any layovers because, ultimately we're paying for that in a roundabout way.
You definitely are. And the fact that you recognize it and you focus on it, that says a lot.
Yeah.
We see all different types of shippers. And not everyone has that down-to-earth perspective. So it means a great deal to us. So what are your thoughts on the market currently and the broker and attrition rate that we're starting to see?
Yeah. Fantastic question. If you had told me, 18 months ago that, in early 2024, we would still be in a shipper's market, I would have laughed because, we've seen definitely a decrease in pricing that has continued to be sustained. Definitely being a shipper, I'm not necessarily complaining. But I know in reality that things are going to turn. That's just, what logistics is all about. Back in 2021, we all remember that was definitely a carrier's market and it was essentially a bidding war for drivers out there. So you were throwing money at a situation. 22, we saw, a slight change, and definitely 23 was, what I would have thought was the bottom, and it continues to be the bottom. So it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing carriers go out of business and brokers going out of business because the margins are not there. And, how do we correct it? I don't know if it's necessarily something that shippers could do besides just trying to be fair. Back in 21, I think it was very easy for folks to get their broker's license and jump on it and try to make as much money as they could. So it doesn't surprise me that some are going out of business because this just wasn't a sustainable model.
Well, and I think now it's not sustainable what we're seeing from a cost to operate and a pricing perspective. But to your point, I think you have your ear to the ground. You know that the market is, I would say, still firmly in the shipper's pocket. But how do we get to a point that both hands are on the ball at all times?
Yeah, it's all about relationships and fairness to it. Granted, I want the best value for
Long-term value.
yeah, in long term, and that's the key right there. Is I'm looking for partner providers out there, whether assets or brokers, that is it's going to be there when the market flips again.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take advantage of the current situation. I'm trying to get the best value. But when the market does change, whenever that might be, I want to make sure that they see Franklin Foods as a value customer.
To your point, Joe, I don't know what your thoughts are, but what I would say before I ask you, Joe, for your perspective, the smart and intelligent partners that we work with, that I work with, they've been saying things to us like, we know we're going to save money in transportation this year. We're trying to improve our network of providers and insulate ourselves. So, you would expect to see more, John, and from a volume perspective, because you've been through the ups and the downs with us and been loyal. I think those conversations are the valuable ones. But then we also see shippers and manufacturers looking to drive out every nickel that's possibly there. And maybe they paid every nickel out years ago as well.
Yeah.
So how do we minimize the extremes?
Well, right now, it's twofold. First of all, spot market rates are still lower than contracted rates, which is very unusual. Obviously, from Franklin Foods' standpoint, with multi-stops and being to make to order, it is somewhat difficult or challenging for me to get contracted rates. I'm looking for every opportunity to try to build consistency in my network so I could reach out and get that contracted rate and not necessarily worry about, hey, I could have saved Franklin Foods $200 this week because, we were paying more than what the market is dictating. But at the end, I always look at it is whether it's a 3-month or 6-month agreement. I'd be very surprised how many folks might be doing 12 months. But, we want to make sure that at the end of a rate agreement that the provider made the margins that they were hoping to make in order to stay in business. Franklin Foods, as well as my providers, we're both in business to make money. I've always told folks, I expect you to make money. I need you to make money. I don't want necessarily you driving Mercedes-Benz to work every day. But, at the end of the day, I would hope that you're making the margins that you will continue to see value in Franklin Foods.
I think that's a nice message. I think it's a genuine message, and I hope that more people feel that way. You don't want everyone eating bologna and hot dogs and not filet and shrimp every night. We all have to work within it. Joe, what are your perspectives?
Well, if I worked for Oscar Mayer, I'd want you to eat bologna and hot dogs every day, number one.
Fried?
Fried bologna, yeah. Number two, I think, to Doug's point, I think a lot of shippers make the mistake. They don't look at total delivered cost. They're looking at a rate. And the rate can be really misleading when you pay that $1.50 rate, but you've got $600 of accessorials on the other end. So, when I was a shipper, we really tried to focus on what's the total cost? What is this costing? Where can we take cost out?
Total laid in.
Right. We don't want to carry to build it into the rate. We want you to strip it out of the rate so I can see it. If I have bad behavior, shipper, receiver, I want to see if I can change it. So that's what we always preach. And the other question, I had a question for Doug. You said your business was a made to order business. Is that because of shelf life or product mix or?
Actually, it's really more about the plant's capacity and what they can do. We don't at this point have the ability to build inventory ahead of time. So, it's not to say it's an ideal model. It's just a model that we are running to based on what the plant's able to output versus the customer demands of wanting, we only manufacture cream cheese. So what the industry wants from cream cheese.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being on Stay in Your Lane.
You're welcome.
We've
Thank
enjoyed
you.
having you. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of the conference.
I will.
All right.
Thank you both.
Until next
Thanks,
time,
Doug. Appreciate
stay
it.
in your lane.